Chick Chat. We're
Hi,
back.
everybody.
We're back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, but we're gonna be inconsistent these next couple of weeks, like we said. But we'll try our best. We will be here next Friday, and we're here late this Friday. But yes, and then the next Friday after that, we will not be here because I go on vacation. But I don't know. We'll try to figure maybe something out with our schedule so we can film a different day maybe that week. So this way we're not as behind, but then after that, things should be smooth until about September. So yes, just stay with us. Um, I
Stay
haven't,
here.
I haven't even been checking our like YouTube thing because I know we've
Me
been
neither.
losing subscribers like flies. So I don't even know how that's possible because like if you ain't posting, like why are they on?
People must just kind of go through, I guess, and delete, things that aren't posting a lot, maybe. I don't personally do that, but
I know.
I don't know. I guess people just clean out their subscribers more than we thought that they did. But
Makes me
we're
wonder if
happy.
it's YouTube though too. Like I wonder if YouTube also does some weird
It's
thing.
possible, but it's not like we haven't posted in a month, It's just been more
Scattered.
few and far between. Yeah,
Yeah,
sporadic.
and right now we're covering shows that aren't as popular, at least not with the viewers.
Yeah,
Like
I think Sister Wives has a lot to do with it. Teen Mom has a lot to do with it. And it's possible that Sister Wives may not continue, although there's lots of rumors about oncoming season 20. So, but
mhm.
yeah, we're happy for everyone who has stuck around and plans to stick around. Anyone who's also new and joining us for Match Me Abroad for the first time, we welcome all of you. We're happy you're
Welcome.
here.
Yes. So that's what we're here to discuss is Match Me Abroad. We're going to cover season 2, but episodes 3 and 4. And this third episode starts with Miss Victoria, who is meeting up with Katerina to talk about what she wants in a partner, which was originally just this long list of physical things, which I thought was weird and interesting because it doesn't sound like I mean, if you just want a bunch of physical, like go on Tinder, like I don't understand like her focus on just physical stuff. And then when she's asked to dig deeper, so her original list is like 6 feet tall, full head of hair, like
That
this
is
is
her list. I mean, there's no original. That is her list. I mean,
yeah.
it's even Katerina herself is saying, a lot of these things are extremely physical. A lot of these things are focused on what the
Mhm.
guy should look like. And we do find out later on, I don't know if it's in this episode or the next, but she doesn't want kids. That should be on your wish list. A human who does not want children should be at the top of your wish list, not hair,
I
not
know.
a casual sport coat.
And this girl is probably about our height, like 5 feet tall. Why do you care if someone's 6 foot? And I feel like she's kind of setting herself up in a way like, I don't know. I really think this girl needs therapy more than she needs a matchmaker. But I
Possibly.
think she sets herself up in a way to be so picky that this way, when it doesn't work out, it's like, well, they weren't everything on my list or whatever. And I just think it's kind of a cop out to have all these weird, especially physical attributes. But she does eventually get into a little bit more deeper. Like she wants somebody who does rugs and, or at
Yes.
least is capable of doing rugs and
Hmm.
just like is a bad boy and all this stuff. And I was like,
I loved the way that Katerina goes, wearing black and listening to D-Rock music? I died. I must have rewound that 5 or 6 times. And I thought that that was, bad boy enough for Katerina. And then, yeah, she gets into maybe someone who might do that, but also possibly rob a store, maybe has been to jail. It's like she's painting she's doing this the whole time. It was wild, you
it's
guys.
like
Wild.
go on Love After Lockup. Like find somebody in prison. I
You're
don't
right.
understand why she's looking for for a guy in Ireland when she could be looking for a guy behind bars.
I
If
think that
that's
that's
what
a
you want.
wonderful point. Absolutely. If this is what she's looking for, and I think Katerina has a good point that she probably does need a more stable man than what she thinks she's looking for. And that really we're looking for a young version of her father. But maybe she just needs to see another bad boy so that she can appreciate a good guy. That's what Katerina's hoping for. I think that's what we're all hoping for this girl, because what she just described is no, those people should not be dated. Even Katerina said, "How well was your dad at committing?" She says, "Not at all. Did
Yeah,
not
it's
do
like,
that."
well, why are we looking for things that like what did your father do that makes you want to look for these things in a father? Well, yeah, I've had a lot of trauma, and it's like you want more, like.
I know, it's insane, and, I can appreciate that people will sort of repeat these sorts of cycles and patterns, and so I'm glad that Katerina is just calling it out in a really clear way that, it's obvious that you're sort of doing this again. Why would you do this again? And I can actually appreciate her response too. I mean, I don't think her behavior makes any sense, but I've come from like a dad who had issues with drugs and things like that. And I have sometimes gravitated towards partners that were not cookie cutter either. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of the reason is because you kind of want to feel understood and not judged. And it's hard sometimes when people come from these real solid families and like, they really don't understand what it's like. They don't have any grit in life sometimes. And that can be hard, just to be a partner with somebody who just is like soft sometimes, but I don't think finding a criminal is the way to do that. You need to find someone with some emotional intelligence and
Mhm.
someone who's maybe faced some adversity in their life, but not the criminal justice system.
Yeah,
It's just
people can come from solid families and still have some kind of adversity and things.
adversity, yeah, or
Yeah.
had, just learned something or gone through something or maybe witnessed somebody close to them, go through something, that's all fine. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be scarred, but I
Mhm.
can appreciate where she's coming from, but she's going about it so strange.
If she just even dated like a nice, like, guy from a nice family that was just like a different race, see, like they face adversity all the
Yep,
time. Like,
absolutely.
get
Yes.
yourself a nice black man. You'll find somebody who's faced adversity and
Uh-huh.
who's stable. Like it's just
Yeah.
you can have both. Like
Girl, you do
Mhm.
not need to go down the path of
and
unstable criminals.
and when Katerina did bring up her father, like it was something I was literally thinking, when she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want somebody who does drugs and
And
maybe
went to
robbed
jail.
and went to jail. Maybe he's robbed a bank or something." And Katerina's like, right before she said that, I was like, "Oh yeah, like your dad." She said it, and I died because thank
Yeah.
God. I'm so glad Katerina says like what she thinks. I think Katerina's doing more therapy for this girl than
Yeah.
matchmaking. I swear.
I agree. Well, and I think that she kind of needs it. I don't think, I think that she's fine. She seems to be doing fine in life and, functioning fine, but she is looking for love, and that can make people do and think back to, their parents and those kinds of relationships. So, I hope that she'll Victoria. I hope that Victoria will listen to Katerina and just sort of take in what she's noticing, because
Mhm.
Katerina is a good matchmaker.
Do you
She
think
is
that
blunt.
list was also made by her friends? Like, it's just all physical
That's the
stuff?
infamous list. That
Yeah.
is the list. Yeah.
So all her friends care about is the looks and stuff. Like, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, maybe those things. My idea is that Victoria sat down with her friends and said, these are the things that I want, and then maybe her friends helped her to add some things to the end. But I would hope that Victoria at least started the list on her own. But I don't know. She said she consulted everybody she knows, basically.
Well, okay. Anyways, moving
To
on
be
to
determined.
Harold. Yeah. Moving on to Harold, he is going on his first actual date, not a mock date, his first
Not
actual
a mock
date.
date. Yep.
Mhm.
He's got no suspenders. He's got this beautiful blue one, checking himself out.
Mhm.
Love
I
it.
thought he was wearing a choker at first
Really?
because of the way the shadow hit him. Look at his
Oh,
neck.
wow. Yeah.
I thought he was wearing a choker, but I think it's
That
just
would
the
be
shadow.
quite the fashion move for Harold.
If we went from suspenders to a choker.
Oh my
A
gosh.
choker for your body or a choker for your neck? Like,
Uh-huh. Maybe Was that from a bow tie? Was he? No, he wasn't wearing a bow
No, I
tie.
think it's just the shadow and like the camera, but I don't know. Anyway, so he can't pronounce his date's name, so he's just calling the date by her nickname, which is cheesy. He even
Mhm.
asked the driver what the name
Yeah.
was, and the driver's like, I think it's this, if I'm right. And Aaron's like, you know what? I don't want to be wrong. Although he could just ask her how to pronounce her name. I think that she would understand that he's American and might
I'm hoping that that happened off camera because I think that that's just the respectful thing to do, especially when you're dating immersed in a culture. I think that
Mhm.
is just respectful to try at least a couple of times to pronounce her name. And if you're more comfortable with cheesy, I mean that's what Dolly called her. I think that that's fine. But yeah, I agree. I hope that that just happened and we didn't see it because it wasn't that interesting. But
Right. Well, this whole date really wasn't that interesting, but not even on
so true.
Harold's part. Like this girl was just dull. But
She was.
we start off at this cat painting place, which is apparently all the rage in Singapore. But I think Katerina, or not Katerina, I think Dolly should have asked, more about like Harold, because Harold seems like he's not into cats. And just because she's into cats doesn't mean he's into cats. So, like, maybe a better first date would have just been like a quick dinner or like a
Yeah.
different activity. I get that they're both into art, but maybe, something not so art, because apparently she's so focused on the art that she doesn't care to converse with Harold, and it's just kind of awkward. He's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's got these little hearts on her dress, so I think she's looking for love." But
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe she was looking for love, but she's quiet. I don't know. She did not give off I'm here to learn more about you, especially when she was painting. And I
Mhm.
just thought Harold's little passive aggressive painting here was it had me cackling the first time that I saw it. I mean, he drew this woman's forehead and said, "That's all I've seen of you since we met." Harold, you are sassy.
I mean, that's direct, kind of. I mean, passive aggressive, but it's definitely
Want me to
semi
be
direct.
direct? I can be direct.
I can be direct. I actually thought Harold did good for Harold on this date. He asked a lot of questions. He was trying to
Yeah.
get her know her better. I just he wasn't being so gimmicky with the "Oh, I'm here to meet you," or
Yeah,
like
like we're gonna
so.
see soon. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we're gonna see more of that on his next date. But he was really trying to like talk to this girl, and she was just one word answers or no answers. So he was hoping that on the next part of the date, the drinks and stuff, that it would get better. But surprise, surprise, it doesn't really. And I don't know if the girl was like that with him because she just wasn't attracted to him.
Right.
But I still think if you're on a date, you might as well just give the guy a shot and just listen to him. I mean, you don't have to go on a second date, but maybe try to enjoy the one that you're on. But she,
Well, that's the thing. Like Harold was doing a really good job of that throughout the date, and
mhm,
we'll see the rest of it finish up later. But yeah, I completely agree. He stayed hopeful. He kept trying to connect in different ways, and he said it was like pulling teeth. So I
mhm.
agree. I think he made that. He noticed that very accurately.
Well, and they only showed us the more interesting parts on camera, right? So just imagine how boring that date truly was when they were at that cat studio. If
Yeah,
all they're showing us is like the one word things.
so
Yeah,
true.
poor Harold. And then he
Poor
tells
Harold.
her the story about the cat that like the nerve damage and stuff.
I
I mean,
know.
why didn't Dolly even tell Harold like she loves cats? Like there was no Harold doesn't like cats. Let's maybe not
Yep,
send him here, but let's at least tell the man she loves cats so this way he can pretend, I don't know,
I
maybe
agree.
not tell the nerve damage story or act like he's afraid of feeding them, because I think that's when it all went downhill, because this
Yeah.
girl loves her cats.
She does. She doesn't even want a husband who is scared of cats, which understandable, if you're a cat person. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that that was a miscommunication because it seems like it's a deal breaker for her, and it's could almost be a deal breaker for Harold, to have cats around. He does kind of seem really uncomfortable with them.
Yeah, and timid. When she talked about her needing a matchmaker and whatever, I was like, "Girl,
Mhm.
I can see it. Like, you're not very communicative. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe it's just Harold. I'd like to see you on other dates, but
right.
I'm curious because I felt like she did better later on, which I guess we'll get to that. But I mean, this first part was just oof. I
Like
mean, I
pulling
feel like it's
teeth.
one. I was like, no wonder why Harold's missing Michaela.
So true. Yeah.
Anyways,
So we move on to Monica, and she's getting ready for her first date with Bernardo. And what is this matchmaker's name? I forget.
Lucia.
Yes, Lucia is excited to match these two together because Bernardo is athletic and active, and he is calm. He has a calm demeanor. So he thinks that that will be good for Monica, who's pretty high energy most of
Hmm.
the time. So she sees Bernardo. I don't know. I kind of had the same vibe that she expressed when she met Bernardo. Just the way he turned around did feel really not careless, but just, he didn't seem
Wispy.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just, yeah, he didn't seem nervous. He didn't seem like he was, waiting, right? She had to like go look for him. I don't know. Something about that
Mhm.
is mysterious and calming.
Yes, and she was immediately attracted to him, but she's trying not to focus on chemistry. Although, I mean, Lucia, you put them in like a physical thing, like you had them do a physical activity where she's in a sports bra and he's and all of his friends have their shirts off. I mean, how can you not think about chemistry and
I
attraction
know.
in that?
At
In
least she's immediately attracted to him and not one of his friends, because I was a little worried that that's what was going to happen.
well, I
All
mean, I'm
these
sure she
shirts
was
off.
sure she liked it all, but she knew who she was on a date with, so you
Oh,
know
she loved it all. She loves Brazil.
she loves it. That. But I will say, at least with her, like I feel like she knows more about where she is. Like she knows at least a little bit of the language, and it's like
Yeah.
I feel like she could actually learn it fully if she doesn't already know Spanish fully.
Yep.
But I think
I
she
think
actually knows more.
her, yeah, I think her and Amber in Ireland are both adapting really well to the cultures and to the
Hmm.
environment. Um, but yeah, I think Monica's already learning some Portuguese and understanding it. So
Or she might. I
cute.
mean, I don't know how close it is with Spanish. She might already know Spanish, and that's just
Yeah,
like similar in some ways. But I don't know.
maybe.
Let us know what y'all think. But
Yeah.
yeah, they
She said
have this.
something too about like people that know more than one language she's always really impressed by. So I don't know if she only knows English.
I mean, she knows a little. She knows poquito, a little bit of Spanish, a poquito. Um,
Quito. I know Quito.
but they play this like volleyball, kickball sport, and
Hmm.
they had a
Okay,
really good time.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to a culture or a sport. I'm sure there's lots of athletes who play this game. It does not make sense to me to kick your feet around in the sand, like high enough for your eyeballs to get sand and your mouth and your hair. Don't we teach our kids at the beach not to kick sand around? Why
Well,
is this a whole sport?
I mean, for me, it's more like, doesn't it hurt your feet? I don't know how this ball is set up, but like, is it so soft to where when you kick it, you don't stub a toe, or like, how does
It
that
looks
work?
like a regular volleyball to me. I don't know why you wouldn't use your hands. I know that that's maybe an additional challenge, but we are in the sand. I would play this on a court.
There's no way I could have the accuracy with kicking that it'll get over every time,
I would close my eye. I would be like it just feels like a sand bath.
Maybe it's just, cultural sports differences.
Yeah,
But
like I said,
yeah,
I
I mean,
really am not trying to be disrespectful. I just can't wrap my mind around who came up with this idea in the sand.
probably
I don't
Bernardo. I mean, I've never heard of this before, but who knows?
possible.
I mean, they had a good time doing it. He already is, aiming for that kiss later, which I
Mhm.
thought was so funny. But,
I know.
they decide to continue the date and go out for drinks. I'm guessing at
Yes.
Monica's hotel.
Mhm.
And, sounds fun. So I guess
Yes.
we'll see that. But he does let it slip that he wants to have kids one day. And that's just like a big red flag for Monica. She's like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy, but no more kids is coming out of me. My
Yeah.
child's 21. I don't need another. Which I don't blame her. She's in her 40s. She has a child that's already in college. Like, you've already been through, done all the stages. I
No,
feel like,
I I
that
would
was
have been
probably
shocked if Monica would have been open to having more kids. That just sounds like a terrible idea for Monica.
yeah. I mean, maybe adopt a teenager or something one day.
I don't think she wants to do that either. I think she wants to play kickball with Bernardo.
She wants to travel. I mean, but I thought it was interesting because like she has all these pets too, so it's like you can't travel that often, girl. I mean, you can, I guess you can take them with you, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
what did Suzanne brought her dog with her last
I
season?
don't think her dog, is Monica's dog, was that small though.
No, I think she had two medium-sized dogs, if I'm
Yeah,
remembering
those are
right.
harder to travel with. So I don't know. I mean, teach their
She could
own.
have family or whatever. But yes, no, I definitely I hear you. But yeah, she's not interested in having kids. He expresses that he would like to have kids. So Monica doesn't want the date to end because she's worried once she tells him this that there may not be another date. So
But
we'll
if
see.
that's what it is, then that's what it is too. You don't want to waste your time or his. So
Right, and she does intend to tell him, later on. So we'll see
good.
how that goes
Yeah.
when we're drinking. Yeah.
So we go back over to Amber in Ireland, and she's talking with Katerina about Kevin. She's still shook about the fact that this man lives with his parents, but Katerina
Mhm.
lets her know that it is a cultural thing, and family is very, very important in Ireland,
Mhm.
and that it's not anything to be worried about. But Amber is worried that he's broke, and Katerina's like, "Oh no, I don't think he's broke."
I know. She even looked offended on his behalf. He's very hardworking and pragmatic.
Yeah, and goal orientated, which I think in the preview we kind of see that he might not be super goal orientated, but I think if
I
the
think sometimes
man,
the previews try to sneak us a little bit.
yeah. Well, I think if the man has a job and he's living at home, like he's got to probably have extra money. I mean, if anything, he's probably got a ton of
You
money
would hope.
saved.
You would
You'd
hope.
hope. Let's
You would
hope.
hope. You would hope, but it's not the B word.
It's not the B. She's like, what's the B word?
I know.
Rope.
I know.
But anyway, she decides to set up Amber on a date with another guy named Paul who lives on his own. The way she described it, I really thought this guy lived like on an estate, but she
Yeah.
says that he owns his own house and he has his own land. And, if that's what she's looking for, then she's going to give her what she's looking for.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna get that. And I think a lot of the reason Katerina is really pushing her to date more is because don't forget, you guys, Amber has been engaged 3 times and not been married any times. So
Yeah.
Amber has talked about how a lot of times she'll be in a relation or she'll start dating somebody and then within a week or two she's in a full-fledged relationship and everything moves really quickly and then it also ends, badly and really quickly. So
Hmm.
I think it's a great idea for her to be dating more than one guy. She still has a lot of questions about Kevin that are unanswered. So why not try to go on a date, with somebody else?
I mean, if you're all the way out there in Ireland, you don't want to put all your oats in one
Just date
basket.
one guy.
Yeah. I mean, eventually that's what happened with Stanika. I can't help but go back to Stanika just because she was one of those that she could only really date the one guy. Everybody else, it was just they don't even like each other. The shrimp don't like
Uh-huh.
like
Oh, we
she.
gonna get there with Harold. Harold's
Oh
about
my
to
god.
have his Danica moment. We're gonna show you
Oh,
guys.
oh my gosh, I just
But
wish we could keep talking about Stanika. She's probably
I
one of
know.
my favorites that's ever been on this show. She's just
I know. I know. I think, yeah, she had a lot of good moments to watch. So definitely you guys go back and watch season 1 if you haven't already. Um, but yeah, Harold is about to have his very own Stanika moment. Speaking of lack of chemistry,
no
and
chemistry.
there ain't no chemistry. And I mean, Harold is doing his best to make the chemistry. He is sharing as much. And I mean, I will give Cheesy, she asked 2 questions that we saw on camera. So this did get a little bit better than the painting. She did seem interested to learn about some things about Harold, but she did not seem happy with any of his answers whatsoever. And then it got really super awkward for a moment when she was talking about her past and her dating history and how she wants someone who's more direct. And it's like, well, duh, you want someone more direct. You got nothing. You got nothing to add. Of course, he wants someone with all the things to add. Um, but then Harold takes that as she's asking him to be more direct, which I don't know if she was saying that, but he says, I'll be more direct. I'd like to hold your hand. And then it seems like she just looks at him strange, and so he says, maybe.
It was such a Ryan Anderson moment, like, "You want fries in the microwave?" Like, it was so
I'd like to
awkward,
hold your
but
hand.
I mean, I gotta give Harold a little bit of credit. I mean, he tried. I do think that she set herself up with that one because the one
Yeah.
thing Harold's been working on is being more direct. So,
It's so true. I mean, I think Harold is doing a fantastic job, and he has a great smile.
I
He
mean, this is
really
the
does.
best I've seen him on a date, like the other than Michaela, I guess, like their second date. But I
Yeah.
think like he's been so direct. He's been trying to ask questions. Now, when she asked him about drinking, I thought that was funny because Harold kind of is wishy washy. Like he does, like he wants to say what he thinks is the right answer, but then he
Yep.
ends up with like the actual answer at the end where
Yep.
she asked like, "Oh, you don't drink?" Or I just figured Americans like drink, and he's like, "Oh, well, I would like it too much, so I don't do it because whenever I do, I just end up liking it too much, and I just don't want to go down that slippery slope." And then she's like, "Oh, really? Like, what do you do for New Year's then?" And he's like, "I'll have half a glass,
I have
half
half
a
a glass
glass
of
of
milk.
what? Like
Half a glass of milk.
half a glass of probably just spiked milk or something." Yeah, like I
Some
don't.
eggnog.
Honestly, because I don't know what is it, absinthe. That's the only thing you'll get half a glass of that will do anything for you. But whatever.
And
Anyway,
then my girl
so
Cheesy over here has the damn nerve to complain about Harold's sweaty palms when he's over here doing all the lifting of this date. Of course he has sweaty palms. I don't want to hear it, lady.
well, and I honestly, it's more of a compliment. Like he's nervous, you know. So, and I'm sure
Yeah.
your hands feel weird or callousy or
You
cat-like.
ain't
I
never
don't
held
know.
some sweaty palms on a first date? I mean, come on, Cheesy.
I mean, you could have just said maybe not right now with the hand holding if you really
Yeah.
felt that uncomfortable. But you know, or you could have just did a quick little one of these, or I don't know. But it was, yeah, I don't know. They did have. I felt like it was a fine date, but I mean, obviously, there's absolutely no chemistry, and you
No
can't have
chemistry.
a date with no
And
chemistry.
Harold has his very own ain't no sparks, ain't no passion moment. And just in case you guys forgot back in the day, we have Stanika.
I wish he would have said it. Hold on. I wish he would have said it to her the way Stanika did, though. But
I
yeah,
know.
that would have been so funny. All right, guys, might turn your volume up.
I know. Sorry. They ain't even liking each other.
The damn seafood don't even like each other. And this
They
man
don't.
couldn't speak English, so he's just translating on his phone what she's saying.
I know. I know.
And it's just
Nothing.
there's no chemistry. And look at
There
that
is no
guy. That
chemistry
guy was
here.
giving what Homegirl was giving too, cheesy, like just
I
dead face.
know. Just absolutely nothing.
No chemistry. Can't make it, can't buy it at the store, can't force it. Can't
Can't make the shrimp like each other. The
no,
damn
like
seafood ain't even liking each other.
you guys, that episode specifically is Emmy worthy.
Oh,
But
it's so good.
uh,
Anyways, so Harold makes a honorable exit. He thanks her for a good night. He pays for the bill. He says there is no chemistry here, and we are moving on to some scary times. We had um, the treacherous music playing as we were waiting for Monica to start this part of the date because we know she's going to drop the bomb at some point that she
the
would
baby
not like
bomb.
to have a baby.
Hmm.
No
And
babies.
we see them have like a decent conversation throughout dinner, like places they want to go, just like all the things. She did ask really good questions about his finances and stuff. I think she did everything Lucia wanted her to do, ask
Yeah,
deeper questions, get to know him better. But it does get down to the kids thing, which was a deeper question as well, which he seemed okay with. He's like, I do think I want kids, but at the same time, I'm also older as well, so maybe I don't. I'm not really 100% set on it. It's just something that I think I want, but who knows? Time may change that. I'm
Yeah.
open, whatever. And she liked that answer. And all of a sudden, she almost seemed like she's wishy washy about it too. Like, yeah, I mean, you never know. And I was like, girl, let me
I
tell
mean,
you
I
never
think
know.
she was saying you never know, and I think actually this happened in the next episode, the end of this, but I mean, we're gonna talk about that in 5 minutes anyways, but I think
Right.
she was saying you never know to him. Like, you never know, maybe you'll feel fulfilled with me. I don't
And
think
my
she was saying
dogs.
and my dogs
And my
and my
animals.
daughter. I mean, he is never probably gonna be like a stepdad because this person's already an adult, but that doesn't mean that you're not gonna, share in the life events and, things like
Mhm.
that. My mom's husband got married to my mom when I was like 29 or something, definitely a full adult. And yet, he's gone to my wedding and he's really excited about our future and, when we have kids in the future and things like that. And so you still get to participate in
Mhm.
somebody's life like that too. So maybe he'll feel
Right.
fulfilled with that.
Right. And then they talk about wanting to travel and stuff. So they seem to be going really good. Monica's really falling for this guy. And I'm like, wow, Americans really do just fall just like that when it's time. But
Yeah, so
anyway,
we'll get
so
to the end
mhm.
when we see it. But
But man,
there's
here's her sexy outfit for the date that she's going on. Remember Katerina told her to dress sexy? I was
yes,
like,
and so
for
she
hot
was
sauce
actually
fan?
I know. Well, she didn't actually wear that, but she wore this instead, which was even less sexy. But at the same time, how do you dress sexy to go wash off oysters in an oyster farm? They were wading through water with literal waders on in
I know. I didn't
oyster water.
understand that either. I mean, she's wearing like what I would wear to work, like a work outfit,
Yeah,
maybe
and
like a server
rightfully
outfit.
so. She has her sweatpants on. She's got a little bit of a dip here, but that's about as sexy as
I
it's
think
gonna
she's
be in an
also got an
oyster
undershirt.
farm.
Like,
Yes, she's
yeah.
got her it's cold out there. No, it is cold in Ireland. When I lived there, it was cold, and if you went on an oyster farm, I think not. I'm
Yeah,
wearing
I don't
even
know if
more
maybe
clothes tonight.
Katarina, yeah, maybe Katarina thought she was going to send them somewhere else, then changed her mind. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know what was up with that dress sexy. I was like, okay, well, I don't know.
This guy shows up and just honks his horn on the way in, which was strange enough, but then you realize he paid 400 euros for a train horn on his car.
I don't. What did that even mean?
Didn't you his car sounded like a train horn.
Yeah, it did. But what do
Yeah,
you mean? Oh, he paid, yeah, that much
changed
money.
it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
Yeah.
that's better.
Well,
And apparently he likes to use it a lot.
he's an interesting man, I will say. So Katarina really done her work good on this one if she's trying to scare her away from the bad boys, because they do go to do this oyster stuff, and he is a little bit wild, a little bit eccentric. He's definitely got his own personality. They talk about the oysters and how they're like, I know it's a little bit later, but the aphrodisiac, and then they also talks about how he didn't he talk about how he went to California and fucking backed a RV into
Mhm.
something, and yeah, he's
Yeah,
just wild, like, and
yeah.
that's fine. I mean, like, he thinks that maybe he's like, oh, I've slept with an American woman before, probably in San Diego in that RV, but
Probably when he was impaling it off of a cliff, yeah.
he thinks that American women might be more accepting of his nonsense, which, like, possible. I mean, look at this girl. She wanted a rug addict. Like,
This is exactly the type of man that she asked for. I mean, she can't have any complaints about this. I do know later on she made a designator between being with Mr. Stupid versus Mr. Dangerous, and she was looking more for Mr. Dangerous, but I think sometimes
well,
dangerous is stupid, you
I
know? This
mean,
is
yes.
this is dangerous and stupid, both
It's
at
like
the same time.
Jackass. Jackass is
Yeah,
dangerous and stupid. Like,
yep.
It's like
Yep.
dating Steve-O. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
I
That's
mean,
what you asked
Katerina
for.
is good. You ask and you shall receive. You wanted a person. I mean, she at least said that he's a successful financier, whatever he is. I mean, he's got some money at least to be impaling RVs, off of cliffs in San Diego from Ireland. So I guess
Yeah.
he's doing okay financially, but in his free time, this man's doing all kinds of wacky crap.
Listen, you're gonna either get stupid dangerous or you're gonna get somebody that's in prison. I mean, it's one or the dangerous only has two forms. Okay, and if you want one that's out of prison, they gotta be a little stupid. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and look at her. I mean, I don't know. This girl
Yeah,
makes me
she's
like want to
realizing what
scream.
she's asked for, and that she clicked her heels 3 times for Katerina, and Katerina brought her a madman.
I mean, yeah, she can't get a convict out of jail right now for her. Like, what else was she expecting? Like, Katerina to show up at the local prison and find a man that's about to get out? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I also don't really blame her. He's cute.
I'm not, it's not my cup of tea, but, I can appreciate
He's
everyone else.
handsome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try not to do product placement. Anyways, so
I mean, unless you wanna sponsor us, Fiji.
we're here. We're always here. We will accept possible. Anyways,
Possible.
possible. We don't want to be too open
Yeah.
because we are desperate. So, anyways, they sit down for, I guess, dinner, but they're gonna be eating these oysters, which apparently like
Yeah.
he's never done before. And I'm like, dude, who picked this date? Was it Katerina who picks the date? Did you pick the date? I don't know. But
Who
she tells
knows?
him that they're an aphrodisiac, and he gets excited by that, thinking that they'll probably hook up at that point. I'm thinking, like, because I don't know, she's very agreeable, and you can tell she's very like fake in these dates, or at least this date, where you can tell she's not really into this guy, but she's still acting like she is, or I don't know,
Yeah.
just being very agreeable.
Well, I think agreeable to the point where she didn't even think to stop him when he said he's going to put hot sauce in his eye. I mean, I'm all about, letting you be you, especially I just met you. I don't know if you do this in your spare time. I remember when Anne watched this for the first time, she texted me and asked, when you lived in Ireland, was this a cultural thing? I mean, I didn't know. We didn't know. But no, it's not a cultural thing. It's a Dave thing, and apparently Dave's never done it before either, because I bet you he will never do this again.
Oh no, hell no. He got so excited by eating those damn oysters, he thought he was invincible or something. Like, oh,
I know.
speaking of this, let's put hot sauce in my eye. And I was like, you
And
gotta
he
be
did
kidding
it
me.
so weird, as if it was a prank. Or, I mean, even if you sort of look, it's like he gave her so many opportunities to say, hey, don't do that. And finally, he's just like, all right, I'm going to commit.
It's like a big C around his
Yeah, he
eye.
did it all the way around his eye. And at every point here, she could have said, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Never did she say that. And so we end up with
I
her
mean, I
freaking
don't
out
totally
and
blame her for that because I would have been shocked and wanting to see what the hell was gonna happen as well. I mean, if
yep,
dude wants to burn his cornea off, like, I mean, I don't know if I'm ever
have
seeing
at
this
it, I
dude
guess.
again. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever see him again, but to each their own. I mean, but yeah, she was very put off by that, and now she thinks that Katerina's really got some explaining to do. But she did finish the date. She said, you know what? I probably should have been done with it there, which, Carl, you could have made up like 50 excuses. Like, okay, well, I got plans or other things I'm going to meet, whatever. No, she goes on with the date still and is little Miss Agreeable Nancy over there. Just, oh,
It's
yeah,
so dumb.
it wasn't. And then he comes back. I mean, the man was screaming in pain, had to go into the back kitchen to rinse his eye out, and then come back out. And he's like, let's just act like that never happened. What do you mean? You
I
can't act like
know.
that never
All
happened.
good over here. Yep, we're fine. So, I mean, for the record, we've now dipped into episode 4, because they wanted to leave us on this hanger, and I'm glad that we don't have to leave you guys on this as a cliffhanger. I feel appreciative, at least of that we were
Yeah.
late. We didn't have to wait for this date to continue. Honestly, that's probably the last thing that I would have thought was going to happen. I mean, I thought the last thing that we saw, was our girl Veronica was outside talking about she was shocked. I thought she was just going to leave this man here, to fend for himself. That's what I would have done.
That's what
You're a
Susan would have
psychotic.
done.
That's what any girl in her right mind would have done. But no, this man, who's also not in his right mind, is just like, hey, let's eat more oysters. And this is this. Okay.
Look at her. She's traumatized, and that's what she wanted.
The
More
whole rest of
trauma.
the time, she's traumatized. Her face
More
looks like
trauma.
this the rest of the time.
And she talks about all the trauma she went through and everything, and just look at more trauma. More
More
trauma.
trauma.
You're just subjecting yourself to more and more trauma. But
Yeah. And
yeah, so
all the while avoiding confronting him or saying that's a bad idea or I would like to leave or no thank you, I don't want to sit here anymore with you while you just screamed and embarrassed all of us for your weirdo activities. She's just going to let Katerina tell him that.
yeah, she thinks just because she's paying this woman that she's going to do all her dirty work for her. And it's like, lady, she's not going to be with you in the real world. Like,
That's the thing. You are lucky that she's telling you that you have to do this. Otherwise, you're just going to be out in the real world dating these guys, letting them do whatever. I mean, you have to have some kind of authority and autonomy and limits. Jeez Louise.
boundaries, a
Something,
voice.
anything. I
Find your
mean,
voice.
the only thing she does is make her eyes get bigger, and that man could care less about what her eyes are looking like. He's calling her sexy. He wants to take her home, all this stuff. I mean, this is not a sexy face. This is not a let's go home. That's not what Monica's about to look like.
To him, that was a test, and she passed it to him. Like, oh, I could put hot sauce in mine. This girl did not leave. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be with this girl. And look at her eyes are open. She's ready for some hot sauce.
She
It was
can't
just
even stand
wild.
this man.
No,
This is
but
when he said he impaled the Jeep, yeah. And he
yeah,
kept saying happy days, and, I couldn't really figure out if he was saying that just as a happy saying that he likes to say. I mean, obviously it's that, but was it sarcastic? Because he would say it after things that weren't really happy, like impaling an RV, unless he really thought that was a
he
great
thought
time.
that was a
He
good
probably
day.
did. He
He
probably did.
probably did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they watch Happy Days over there, like Monday, Tuesday, Happy
They
Days.
don't do that in that show.
No, but I mean, potato patata to him. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, maybe. Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So we actually meet someone new. Her name is Sarah,
That's
and
part of what I love about the show is we really kind of get a rolling cast up until
mhm,
almost the very end. So we
yeah,
get
we
Sarah.
meet a lot of different people. But
Yeah.
this is Sarah. She is, I believe, is she in New York or something? I don't remember what's part. Is she
She's
also in
not.
Texas?
She's
Everyone's in
also from
Texas.
Houston. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was. Everyone's from
from
Texas.
Houston. She's 36 years old. She designs jewelry and accessories for the business that she owns. And she also has a dog named Prince, which is important because somewhere here I have a dog named Prince.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's got her own little guy, and he's cute. I mean, he's nice and fluffy looking. He must be like a little Pomeranian. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's bringing her mom with her to Singapore to help her go on this journey.
I've
We
never had that
do
before.
never had it, but you know what? Her mom seems pretty chill, so I'm okay with it. But I
Mhm.
feel like if it would have been a homegirl's mom, like the one girl whose mom was really strict last season, oh my gosh, that would have
Yeah,
been a nightmare. But
that would have been
anyways,
terrible, you're right. I forgot about her. I wonder how she's
mhm.
doing.
She's probably locked up in her mom's closet somewhere with a chain.
Poor
Anyways,
girl.
she does tell us about her dating past. Apparently, she's been engaged before, and she didn't really find out till they were engaged that dude didn't want kids. I mean, I don't know. I can tell from this picture this man's like 40, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he would want kids, and I don't know. Like, did they just
So,
never talk about it until they got
I'm guessing
engaged?
he probably acted like he was more okay with it than he really was, and they probably didn't talk about it often. It seems like there was some kinda like, "Yeah, maybe I'll have some kids," or whatever, but
I
I'm guessing
mean,
this man already has probably grown kids.
her age.
Yeah, because she was really specific with Dolly about, "I want someone who wants a family with me," and I've never heard "I want someone who wants to have a family." Why do you have to say "with me" unless you've already had this problem that someone has a family with somebody else and is okay with that?
And is yeah, and just is content with where they are. And
Mhm.
I mean, she it looks like a sugar baby type situation.
I
Not
mean,
saying
she
that it
is
is
36. I mean, this guy is probably not 50.
56. So I think
I
he's in his
don't know.
50s, maybe
His
late
legs look
40s.
better than that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not just because of lighting, pictures or she could have even touched it up to make him look a
I
little
wanna know though, she looks Dolly's gonna be asking her later to try to tone down her glam, and she looks really beautiful here, and she's not as glam, as we're used to seeing her on the show, so I wonder what's going on there really too.
Yeah. Well, okay, so they arrive in Singapore. They're going to meet Dolly,
I thought it
her
was so
mom.
interesting, they asked what this cab driver's favorite thing about Singapore was, and he said the security. I just think that that's a bizarre answer. Most people would maybe say a cool place that they like to visit, or
The
maybe the
views.
climate, or yeah, the views, or activities, or cultural nor the security. I feel like that's scary.
Well, I think in like those parts of the world too, there's so many places that aren't very secure. Like maybe
Yeah,
Singapore is secure compared to other cities around them.
possible.
So,
I
I
just feel
mean,
like you never ask people, "What's your favorite thing about the city in America?" And they'll be like, "The police." It's just I mean
America's a little different. We don't really value that kind of thing as much. But
I'm all for, the police, but it's not my favorite thing about anywhere I've ever been.
I mean, I'll give it to them too. Singapore looks pretty secure. I mean, it looks beautiful,
It
well
looks
taken care of,
amazing there.
well kept.
Mhm.
So, I mean, sure. We do learn also that there's no chewing gum there, which I thought was interesting as well.
Lots of security.
Lots of food security as
No
well.
choking.
I mean, honestly, there's like got to be a lot of food security. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're able to eat here in America that they can't eat over there because it's like toxic. Like, so
Yes.
I might agree with him with this whole security thing.
We'll
I'm,
see.
I'm seeing it more and more. But we learned that Sarah's dad has passed away. I believe he got sick really fast, and
Yeah.
she wishes she spent more time with him. But that's kind of what's making her want to do this and put herself out there and have a family really fast and do all the things. But she is 36, so I don't mind. I mean, I don't blame her. Her biological clock, I'm sure, is ticking. I mean, mine started ticking, a couple of years ago. I've just been putting that thing on snooze till now.
Well, and I think that's kind of the position that she's in as well. I mean, at some point she thought she was going to get engaged and possibly have children, and then when it became a reality she's not going to have children, then she didn't get married to this guy. So I'm sure
Mhm.
she's feeling like she's wasted her time, like she needs to rush, all of that. And I mean, at some point, biologically you do need to rush, but I don't there are women in their 40s who have babies, so just like
Yeah.
find the right guy to Sarah.
Yeah, find the right guy at least to have a baby with. At least find a good baby daddy in case like
Yeah,
this don't work out. Like somebody who's going to take care of their baby. Um,
exactly.
so they meet with Dolly, and Dolly at first is not so thrilled with the mom being there, but I think eventually she warms up to it because the mom's agreeing with her, and
Yeah.
Sarah's more resistant towards her for a few things. But
Yes.
yeah,
Well, Dolly initially is trying to get, I think, Sarah alone in her office, so she asks her to meet her later on in the office. And then the mom, shows up again too. So yeah, that's gonna be an ongoing thing. But it does seem like Dolly is really warming up to the mom. I don't know, maybe I'm being judgmental, but I thought that this whole thing she did right here was a little dramatic. The whole I only want to do this one time. I only have one more heartbreak left in me. I can only give my heart to one more person. What do you mean? How do you know? What is there a thermometer in your soul or something that says you like I'll expire
um,
afterwards or
we don't know her total dating history, but maybe by 36 she's just had it, and this is like her breaking point. But
I
still,
guess.
I mean, like you said, we never know the future, right, Monica? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, to each their own. But, Yeah, she's a little bit dramatic about all this. She really was hurt by that other man who wasted all of that time with her. Who knows how many years,
Mhm.
just to not have kids with her or say he doesn't want to or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, she's coming into this pretty already insecure and with a plan, but I guess we'll get back over to her. Speaking of Monica, she's finishing
Monica.
up her date with Bernardo, and they are still talking. They're talking about their future, what that might look like.
Yeah, this is where he makes the kind of, I don't know, he didn't necessarily commit either to being okay with not having kids, but he said it wasn't necessarily a big deal.
He's
Um,
open.
yeah, but he looks sad. This looks like a face of disappointment.
I think at first it would be, but maybe he's just open to whatever happens. I think he wants to see her again and just kind of see where it goes. So I don't
Yeah.
think it would be fair to put so much stake into kids if it's not like number one on your priority list. But
Yeah. Well, I think that's what she was trying to figure out. I think a lot of people say, yeah, I see myself as a parent in the future, but it's maybe not the first thing they see themselves as. And there's some
Mhm.
people that are, like Sarah, for example, where she would end, a relationship if she's not able to do that. So I think she was trying to find some clarity on that. I don't know if she necessarily got it, but at least he wasn't a hard kids are the only future for me at 40 years old.
Right. So
Because he's 42.
yeah, and I think at that point, it really does change like your whole life. So you
Yeah.
better be freaking ready for that at 40. Because honestly, even at 32 right now, like I'm pregnant and I'm just like, oh my God, everything's going to change for me. I've been living for myself for so long.
Uh-huh.
And every day that gets closer to due date is another day I've lost.
I
but,
know.
in the same breath, it's exciting to start something new. So, yeah, I can see that, like, especially once you get older. And for her, she's already been through it. So she's, retired. But
Yeah, she's done. She's closed up her shop. She's finished with that phase of her life. If that's a phase of your life that you want to be in, then that needs to be a choice. It's hard. So, yeah,
mhm.
I think she's all done with this. But, I mean, Bernardo would still maybe like to practice what it's like to make a child. So he
Sounds like
asked he asked to walk her up to her room. I don't know if he was planning to stay or if he was trying to just kind of be a gentleman and walk her up to her room. I think they were having drinks at her hotel, so it's not like it was far away or anything. But Monica was a little nervous. She said her palms were sweaty because she didn't know if this is what they do in Brazil, but she was not ready to have this kind of situation go down. And
mhm.
I mean, thank God she, shut the door and everything at the end of the night because Louisa, we're about to find out later, was not even happy
Not happy.
with this.
Yeah, they end up, having their kiss at the door, which turned into a full blown makeout session. And who knows how long
I
it
was
actually
I
lasts.
was like I was taken aback. I mean, I thought that this was a wonderful date. I thought that they got along really well. I was sort of swept up in the whole love story. This might be one of my favorite couples, favorite dates that I've seen in
Mhm.
quite a long time, especially on Match Me Abroad.
Oh, for sure. I think even in general, I just think that they got on really well. They exchanged numbers, and I thought that was cute how all that happened. But yeah, I actually thought Monica did perfectly fine on this date.
Did
I don't know
great.
why she got so much hate from Louisa just because she had a kiss at the end. Like, that doesn't mean that
So
all the
I
other
think,
stuff didn't happen.
yeah, I think Louisa's point is right now, Monica is, I mean, clearly in the infatuation phase, and I think Monica asked all of the important questions. I do think that she got that out of the way before this kiss happened, but I
Hmm.
think sometimes you ask the important questions, and maybe it's better to let that information settle in and sort of wait to have this
Hmm.
physical infatuation because that kiss would make me want to have another one in a day or two. And so then really focused on just doing that again instead of, you know, dating more or continuing to get to know more.
Yeah.
But we
Well, in
will
those
return
days,
to Monica.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so then going back over to Katerina and Victoria, she's like, "Oh wow, he had a great time on the date." She was excited to tell her like, "Oh, your bad boy just loves you,"
I
and then
know.
And then Victoria's just kind of like in her. I mean, like I like the jumper thing, but like it looks very childish to have like the thing underneath. I don't know. Like I'm not loving her
Yeah.
outfit. It kind of looked kiddish, but
I've
I,
not seen an
yeah.
outfit yet other than the one that she wears in her confessionals, that little blue cute thing that is
Mhm.
cute. They're
Yeah,
all very androgynous, they're
real.
all baggy, they just don't show any nothing.
Yeah, I know Katerina gave her crap about, the airport thing, which I was kind of like, well, I mean, girl, like I'll be wearing sweats on a 14-hour
Yeah, that
flight
pissed
too.
me off about
But
Katerina.
now I'm understanding a little bit more about
Yeah,
the clothes thing.
me too.
But she says it's an absolute no for her. It's immature, whatever. And then she said the thing about the hot sauce in the eye. And
Mhm.
Katerina's like, what?
I
Like, this
know, and
is
she's all, "Why would he do something like that?" I don't know, it didn't look to me like Katerina was all that surprised that this man would do something like that, though. I felt like the whole thing was a damn act. I swear.
why
I
would
feel like
he do
Katerina
such a
paid
thing?
this man to put hot sauce in his eye so that she could move Victoria over to somebody
Teach her
who
a lesson, yeah.
is a little more stable.
Yes, and then she asked, "Well, if he didn't do that, like, would you have went on another date?" And she says no because he said he wanted children, and she wants no children. And this is news to everyone, including us. Like, she never said this before.
We done talked about your wish list 3 times over already, Victoria. If not having children is a deal breaker, don't you think that should be at the top of your wish list? Is a man who does not want kids, who does not have kids, who
Yeah,
is not thinking about children.
and I'm not saying she needs to have kids. I mean, I don't know, but do you think like this girl just really needs therapy because her reasons for having kids is so strange? Like, I've come from a family with
Yeah,
addiction and I just know it's hereditary. Like, it's not guaranteed hereditary, girl. Like, there's
right.
addiction in my family too. And guess what? I'm motherfucking pregnant. Like,
I think that there is probably at this point addiction that runs in some, you know, seed in somewhere in everyone's family, whether
but is
that's
she addicted to
your immediate
anything?
family
Like,
or not. No, well, and that's the thing. That's the point that you're making, right? Like just because it's there and it is hereditary
yeah.
doesn't mean that you're going to become, some kind of drug addict like her
I
dad
think
was.
every family has something like that
Yeah.
underlying somewhere, whether it's an addiction or a cancer or
Mhm.
something. There's something that
Yeah.
someone has in your family that could be hereditary. But do you just stop procreating just because it's a possibility? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not as traumatized as her with life, but
Yeah,
it's
I
just
I
such a.
think I think she's been through a whole lot of things, and I think her mindset for the future, it seems like it's hard enough for her to figure out how to get through her own day to day, let alone to wrap her mind around having a kid. I
Well,
just that is for outward reason, but you're right,
mhm.
she's a therapist. There's a whole lot going on underneath that
Well,
answer.
and no wonder why she like doesn't want kids if she still wants to
She
be
should
with
not be
somebody.
having kids in this state of mind. No.
No, but she also wants to be with, like, an addict. So, like, of
Yeah.
course, you're just doubling up your chances or whatever,
Yeah.
even though I think 2 addicts can have a kid that doesn't want anything to do with drugs, but
This, I think, is another example with Victoria of her, like, sort of behaving in such a strange way. I mean, she has the right mindset. If your mindset is like this, you should not have kids.
mhm.
Sure, I agree. But your reasoning and the way you're going about it is weird.
I
I
mean,
understand that you want a man
yeah.
who might understand you and accept you, but the way that you're going about it, what you're asking for, not good. Victoria is interesting.
Well, and
She
I
does
know,
need
like
help.
I don't know how much you wanna get into it, but, like, I know you have, like, a semi-similar situation with your dad, but your dad's been, like, good for a long, long time. Would it freak you out to have kids just because of the possibility? Like.
I just something I think about when I have
Yeah.
kids, especially because on my husband's side as well, addiction runs on that side of the family, and
Mhm.
that's one of the top things that I think about when I have kids. It's not something that I'm thinking about, I shouldn't have kids because. It's something I'm thinking about, I need to educate my kids
Yeah,
appropriately
okay.
because that's what my mom did with me. I also had addiction run on both of her sides of the family, and so my mom was just really honest with me from a young age about all kinds of what all these things were, all the things that you
Mhm.
could use, what they would do to you. And then I had the unfortunate experience, which I do think was important in my life, that I saw my dad go through losing everything, losing our family. And I really got a front row seat to what that can do to your life. So I was able to recognize what my limits were because I put
Mhm.
myself in scary situations like Veronica does, Victoria does. And so I really do kind of relate to her a lot and get where she's coming from, but she's unhealed. She's not self-aware whatsoever. She just doesn't get it. And the reason she doesn't want to have kids because of all this stuff with her family is because she has all this fear, wrapped up in it. And that's fine.
Mhm.
All those things are valid, but yeah, she needs to kind of take care of herself. And I
Yeah.
think by the time she gets done taking care of herself, it's going to be too late for her to have kids. So I'm glad that that's not her number one goal in the world. But I
No.
hope her number one goal in the world after watching the show is to go take care of herself.
Yeah, I just wish that she was more upfront with, like, all of her actual wants to begin with,
Yeah.
and that she got some therapy at the same damn time too, girl. I
Yeah,
mean,
that should be at the
Katerina,
top of your wish list as well, Victoria. A good
she's your
therapist.
matchmaker, but she's not your life coach, therapist,
Yeah,
security guard. Like, you gotta do something for yourself, girl.
agreed.
Katerina's not a Band-Aid, but anyways, so
She is a band-aid, but she's not a miracle worker.
she is not a miracle worker. She's trying her damnedest, though.
Mhm.
Um,
And Katerina's just as frustrated as we are. She said, "You're telling me that you don't want children, and it's a hard no deal breaker for you, and you have not mentioned this in your purple wish list while we were talking about it for the last 3 days."
Yeah, all she cared about was the physical stuff, and this is what you get when you don't actually communicate the right things. Now you're gonna go on a bunch of crap. Like, if just imagine if she didn't even say like this whole kid thing. She
Yeah,
would keep going on all these dates with guys that were probably wanting to have kids, and then what? She's just gonna smile and be agreeable, like,
yeah,
oh yeah, sounds good, ha ha, and then never want
yeah,
to see them
imagine
again.
that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, anyways, Katerina says that she's gonna set her up on another date, but she's going this time because she needs to chaperone this and know how this girl's behaving on these dates. She wants to know because
Yeah.
she sounds really agreeable. She said to her, it sounds like from what I'm gathering with this date that you wanted to end it, and instead of just ending it, you were very agreeable and you're a pushover and you don't stand up for yourself. So I'm going on this date. Like,
I know. She's pointing at her. She's all, "He's gonna see you in your full power." And I think that this is gonna be incredibly awkward and terrible for Victoria, but I cannot wait to see it. Victoria's terrified. She thinks that Katerina's overly confrontational, a little bit too,
it's her worst nightmare.
cold and blunt. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that this is gonna go terribly, but I cannot wait to watch it.
I mean, her worst nightmare ain't my worst nightmare. I mean, shoot, like she wants to date a convict. I mean, that'd be my
True.
worst nightmare.
You're right about that. Yeah.
Not having some woman listening on my date. Anyways, so we go back over to Amber, who is going to go date this guy named Paul, which I did kind of chuckle earlier when she talked about how, usually after a week after seeing somebody, she's like in a full blown relationship. I'm like, well, that sounds like Miss Brooke. Miss Brooke's never single for very long.
That's true, yeah. But I mean, yeah.
Anyways, so Katerina sets her up with this guy named Paul who's 43 and lives on
Mhm.
his own little ranch. So she's on her way out there and she's liking the view so far, but when she gets there, she realizes that she's gonna be sitting in a shed. And she's like, I don't want my first date being in a shed.
Yeah, should they even, mention the whole axe murderer situation? I mean, she's she's a little bit freaked out, and I just thought it was a little strange too. I mean, yes, you're meeting on his homestead. Apparently, he doesn't like to leave the house much, I guess, but now you're walking in and he just puts her right to work, just like on the homestead. We're
Oh
making
no.
spoons.
We're
And the way
making a spoon.
she responded, "A spoon?" As if she's never heard of a spoon before. It was the
She,
craziest thing.
well, she's probably used to the metal ones, right? Like she probably didn't
Yeah, I
realize
do
he
love
was.
her enthusiasm. I think Amber is great.
Yeah, she really did get right into it. She sat right down. She started making the spoons. I died when she asked, "Well, what you making?" He said, I'm carving a spoon.
A
A
spoon?
spoon. One single spoon.
Yes. Yeah. Out of a block of wood, this big. I
You know,
wonder if it's a mixing spoon.
I would love to see this guy on Love Off the Grid. I was like, why are these people on all the wrong shows? Like,
They are on all the wrong
Veronica,
shows.
Victoria needs to be on Love After Lockup. This guy needs to be on Love Off the Grid. Like, I'm like,
You're
there's so
totally
many
right.
other shows. Y'all are on the wrong shows.
You're
But
totally right.
yeah, it was giving so much Love Off the Grid, and I loved that for him. I mean, Katerina's doing these mind tricks where she's like, okay, you don't want a man that lives with his parents? Okay, let's find you
Mhm.
somebody who lives on the homestead.
I think part of Katerina's whole um like service is she actually wears you down first so that you end up more pleased at the end of her service. I think that that's part of the psychology behind Katerina. She
Yeah.
wears people down, she gets them feeling a little bit exhausted, and then she gives them the good date, and then they feel
Yeah.
like they're in a whirlwind.
And I didn't notice it with Harold before because I think Harold wore her down and it was
Yeah.
the opposite.
Yep.
But with everybody else, yeah, I've been peeping that she's either in it to do a lesson, just like Juan was. Like Juan was the king of
One likes
lessons.
to teach lessons too, yeah.
So yeah, so she's on the homestead. They're showing, or he's showing her around. He's got this outside bathtub, hot tub, which I'm like, it just means he's just cooking himself in the thing. He's just got like firewood underneath, and it's like rainwater. Because when he showed the
Yeah.
water, I was like, oh my god, I could
It's
never
all
get.
brown in there, and I don't know, I just kept thinking about, like, what if sometimes I take a little doze off in the bathtub, and, I mean, what if you just boil yourself in there with the fire underneath? I mean, I
Just
just
cooking.
cooking
Yeah.
in there, and, I thought that he was cute in the shack shed, but out in the open light like this, I
I know
like
Amber
Kevin
thought
better.
he was so cute, and then she's like, "Yeah, he's just wearing a shirt though that says Hi, I'm Paul," which I thought was hilarious that he was wearing a shirt with his own name on it. I didn't know if it was the Nickelodeon, like Hi, I'm Paul, but
It could
the
have been, but he's still Paul, so
uh-huh. And she's, trying to get over this whole homestead thing. She's like, normally I wouldn't be comfortable being in a cabin in the woods or whatever. Which, like, granted, she does have a whole camera crew there, which would make me feel a lot better too. Like, it's not just
definitely.
me. And I've been in a lot of weird situations on dates. I mean, shoot, I'm married to a man that I flew across country for, never seen a day in my life other than on the internet.
And
So,
then when you saw him.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
and just like Amber, we all had her location when she went, so don't you
yes.
guys worry, we're
And
taking care of her.
yep, but the crew was there. I mean, she was all in, and then she asked a lot of good questions, about the homestead. Asked what about his fridge and everything. He doesn't have a fridge. Asked about where he poops, and I guess he, fertilizes the crops with his poop. Which, if you think about it, like I know she was disgusted by it, but all of our crops are fertilized by some poop, like whether it's
Usually
an
cow
animal's
poop,
poop.
so
Yeah,
I guess I'd almost rather it be my own poop, but, I kinda I
I
get
don't know if
it.
I want it to be another person's poop, but
Someone you just met, I just think it's a little strange, but you would hope all these herbs are, washed and whatever, and it's fertilized. It's not like it's smeared in it. It's like it grew out of the dirt, you know?
it's different, yeah.
I
But she
but
she
I
loved
get what
the
she's
tea.
saying too. She
She loved
did.
the tea. She said, "It's so good," and then I thought about how it's made from
That
his poop.
that right there is where she realized.
Right there, she looked off into the distance.
Paul said, "From the garden." She said, "Oh, the
From
garden.
the god. Well,
Where
where
you
else
put
is he gonna get it from? I mean, the man's living like he's ready for whatever happens in the world, which, like, I appreciate. There's only a few people that are really gonna be able to cut it, and that man will. He already has his own ecosystem going
You
on.
better believe Amber's gonna be running over there for some of his poo tea, the second it goes down."
Yes. So, she, I think, had an interesting time on the date, but she's definitely missing Kevin right now.
Yeah. Can't
Yep.
wait to see Kevin.
Can't
She
wait.
met him in a suit jacket all done up, and I think she's looking forward to more of the soft
Yep.
girl life, not the
I
homestead
will
life.
say Paul did mention that she's not his typical type. I don't know if it's because of, race or anything, but then he said, she's beautiful and she's bubbly and and then how could you not like Amber, honestly? She's so like she's ready to do anything. Like
She's like energetic and eager, and she's really open to taking in experience. She just
yeah,
sat right down and started carving a spoon. She
yeah.
was a spoon. It's just, yeah, she's got a wonderful personality.
Yeah, I love her personality. I think her and Monica would probably be really good friends because they
Yes,
both
and
have
I
very
think that
similar.
they're really great candidates to actually
Mhm.
find love.
Yeah, I do. I think they'll have the best of luck on here. I wish Harold would, but I just
I know.
think he needs to be put on dates with a certain type of people, and I'm not sure if that's what's happening here. But anyways,
Yes.
so back over to Monica. She tells Lucia about her date, and she said it was the best date she's ever had. Which I was like, girl, I mean, like it was a good date, but like the
I
best
thought it was a
ever.
great date. Yeah.
It was a great date, but I'm like, what else didn't they show us? Because like, how was it the best ever? Like in
I think
40
they just
years?
connected really well. I'm not sure necessarily that they did anything special. I mean, probably the best date I ever had was with my husband, and we just sat and ate queso dip at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was not nothing special, but it
Yeah.
was the company.
True. Okay. I'll give her that one then. So she is telling Luisa that they kissed, and Luisa liked everything until that. She was happy
She's
about the
mad.
questioning. She was happy that they had a good time. Because, she was really trying to throw Bernardo in there because she felt that Bruno was something she
Yeah.
was just too focused on and too ready to fall in love and too much chemistry, whatever. And lo and behold, it just backfired on her.
Yeah.
So she's like, really? No kissing on the next date. Please. Like,
I know. Well, I guess she said that Brazilian men usually try to kiss on the first date. And I feel like, if it's that big of a deal, and I understand her position, the whole you guys should get to know each other for a little bit longer, put it off for a while, whatever. I get what she's saying. But if it's really that important to her and her process of, people that she's
mhm,
matchmaking and setting up, why didn't you tell her that Brazilian men usually try to kiss on the first date and that it's okay if you say no, or you should say no, or I would prefer you to say no, or do whatever you want
right.
because you're your own woman? That's probably the best response. But I mean, I don't think I don't know. It seemed like Monica wanted to kiss him. I think it was
She
fine.
did.
It would have been one thing if he would have entered her room and things went down. I think that's probably moving too fast. But I really thought that kiss was a wonderful kiss. It was passionate. It's going to make them think about each other for a while. But I also think that that's Louisa's point, is that Monica's here to date and sort of
Mhm.
see all of her options.
Right. But I mean, she's also there to find a match. So if she finds a match at some point, I mean, Sanika didn't last on what, not maybe two other extra dates or whatever. I mean, doesn't mean that she needs to settle down with Bruno or whatever. But yeah, I did find, and she's also working with Bernardo. So why not like tell him to not kiss
Yeah.
on the first date? Like, doesn't this go
Maybe
both
she did.
ways? She might,
Maybe that's part of this anger here. She
her
said,
meeting with Bernard, and this man was talking about kissing her on the damn volleyball court.
I
Like,
know.
he
The
was,
second he met her, he wanted to kiss her.
yeah. But anyways, she says that she's gonna now go on a date with Bruno, and that it's now time to bring that man out. But please do not kiss him. She's gonna have to pull a Katerina and show up on this date herself or something. But
She probably is gonna have to form a human barrier.
yeah, but Monica's excited to see Bruno. She is really focused on Bernardo, but she does still want to give Bruno a chance because she was originally excited to see him. And, Bernardo just got to her first. So,
Yeah. Can you blame him?
I mean, gotta blame Lucia, really.
So we end on Sarah for this episode, and Dolly is having a whole workshop with her entire staff about what to do with all of Sarah's va va voom.
Yeah, she wants Sarah to tone it down, especially the makeup and stuff, because kind of over there, if you're overdoing like the outfits are very flashy and showy, the makeup's a little overdone. Like over there, it's a different culture. Like yes, Dolly's wearing some makeup, but it's a little bit more toned down, and I think that her point is that they might think she's just a two or that she's easy or that she's looking for a hookup, and I don't think she wants her dates to really go like that. And like we do see in previews that her dates are very
She's
weirdly
at
put
least going
together.
through the red light district. I mean, I think the previews sort of sometimes play tricks on us, but he's taking her sightseeing and he's taking her somewhere where I don't know if you'd want to take your future wife on your first date, even if you're just driving
Awful.
through. Like, probably let's just skip that one, you know? So, yeah, I agree. I think, your outward appearance should not be everything, as we're learning with Veronica, but at Victoria, whatever that girl's name is.
Yeah.
Your outward appearance should not be everything, but it is one of the first things that people see about you, and people do make assumptions. And yeah, I think she's just putting herself
Mhm.
sometimes in a position to where people would value her looks more than they would value what's inside. And if she's looking for someone who wants to, be with her forever and have a family with her, then
Mhm.
she might catch more men if she's not like focusing so much on her appearance. So,
Yeah. And I mean, and not to say that like focusing on your appearance is a bad thing, but we do know, even here in America, men will think things too. Sometimes if we're dressed a certain way or we look a certain way, they think we're easier, which isn't fair. But I mean, over in a different country, it's like probably 20 times worse because here, we got that whole feminism thing, like everything's we got the media telling us one thing and like we fight more for things over here and over there, like in other countries where women are a little bit more modest, they're
mhm.
they're taken more seriously, they're taken differently. And, she could get really misjudged for a statue or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, Dolly said that the equivalent to her in Singapore, that those are mostly all sugar babies. So, I think she's doing this with good intention. And I think, you're right. Sarah should be able to dress and do her makeup however she wants to, but I think when we dress and do our makeup, we should also be aware of how we're presenting ourselves to other people and how people will take us in so that we can make decisions appropriately about how we want to dress and do our makeup.
Mhm.
So I think all that has to be an awareness. You might not like that society will look at you a certain way, but you should also be aware that that is fortunately or unfortunately the case.
Right, like it's a side effect sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And her mom agrees. Her mom does want her Sarah to tone it down. She thinks that it might be attracting a different kind of man, and she thinks that maybe if she wants a quality man, that she should maybe tone it down a little bit. But Sarah ain't having it. She's like, I'm still putting on my fake lashes, one lid at a time.
she said no, thank you. I also think it was so funny because it sort of seemed like Dolly and Kitty, who, such funny names for your sidekicks while you're trying to date, but it seemed like Dolly and Kitty were sort of nemesis until they realized that they're really on the same page and trying to bring Sarah out of her comfort zone, trying to really
Right.
help her connect with somebody based on what's inside versus what's outside. And so they
Hmm.
became best friends over this, which is hilarious because at first Dolly was like, "Why are you here? I need to see this girl alone at some point. Is she
Yeah.
even independent at all? Are you going to be on the dates?" Like, Dolly was not having it at first, but
Yeah,
she
and
was
I think
happy.
Sarah's mom was fine with Dolly, but yeah, I think that Dolly was very like, I don't know what to
Yeah.
think with this woman being here. Could that mean that she's controlling? Could that mean that she's going to be a helicopter parent? And no, she's very much like on Dolly's side. It seems like she's agreeing with a lot of things that she's saying. And Dolly did ask Sarah, like what her past dating mistakes have been other than probably dating like 50-year-old men.
Right.
Um, and she said, that it was the princess movies and stuff. And it's like, girl, I watched them damn princess movies too. Like,
Yeah.
eventually, at some point, we just grow up and we realize that the real world is the real world. And half the time in them princess movies, someone dies.
That's
Like,
what I was gonna say. I feel like those princess movies, it's not like it's a real fairy tale. I mean, most of the time there's some kind of,
disease.
treachery going on, or you're a mermaid and he's a human. I mean, there's always a problem. It's not like
Snow
it just
White was in a
works.
coma. Like, what do you
I
like?
know all these things, and Cinderella, like there's not just boy meets girl and they fall madly in love and they live happily ever after. There's
Hmm.
no Disney movie that looks like that. I don't
They all have
understand what this is all
conflict
about.
or death or something. Like,
Yeah,
it's not always happy.
yeah, it's wild what you're conjuring up here, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I,
she also asked Dolly, apparently she's meeting Dolly at the office before she goes on her first date. So I mean, I think this is her date outfit. I think this is what we're going to see her in to go on her date with this 37-year-old man named Freddie. who is an artist who is ready for a family and is going to take her to explore some sites in Singapore. We're not going to see that in this episode, but I'm guessing we're going to see it next episode. But she's kind of giving her little workshop. I mean, she didn't quite give Sarah a mock date like she gave Harold, but she is trying to sort of familiarize her with the culture and encourage her to take in the culture rather than, come in kind of so sure of herself here.
Dolly's definitely got her work out cut out for her, that's for
She
sure.
does. That's why she had the whole conference meeting beforehand. And let me tell you, it didn't work. This girl easily said no.
Yeah. But Freddie is ready, so
Ready. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we kind of leave it off right there. Not only did she say no, she said she wants to look her best, so there was no convincing being made. And I guess we're gonna see how all of that goes. If nothing goes well, at least Dolly and Kitty are gonna be best friends at the end of this, so that will be something.
I wonder if
Um,
Dolly brought like makeup remover wipes to this, date or to this meeting, hoping that she'd take, just like a little bit
she
of.
very well could have, but we all know Sarah's not going to touch them or even look at them.
And I will say, like, she's pretty, but I mean, the Botox in this girl and the work that's been done. I just,
Well, no amount of taking makeup off is gonna, change that. I feel like at some point, sometimes too, when you have Botox like this, you kind of do have to contour your face every day with makeup because it is kind of a certain look.
just looks interesting. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, she's still pretty young. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know when she started getting Botox, but like I've said a million times on this channel, once you start that stuff, it's really like you got to keep up on it. Otherwise, your skin will just like, so.
Yeah. So, anyways, we do have a next time for
Oh,
the
that
next
says
episode.
Queen. I thought your shirt said Nap Quill.
Queen.
like NyQuil.
Oh no, I'm not advertising for NyQuil. I
I
am the
thought it
Nap
said Nap
Queen.
Quill, like
That's
because it makes you
hilarious.
sleepy.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. No, it's Nap Queen, like the Trap Queen.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Anyways, so next time, we're gonna see Harold go on another date, and again, it's with kind of a similar type of girl who says Harold's not what she expected. We see Harold try to flirt a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they're tricking us and it actually goes well, but we'll see. Um,
Listen, I'm just happy to see the man again. We had one Harold this episode, and I missed him.
I know that is true. And last season, I think we had him in every single episode except for one. So I'm hoping we get at least that same type of Harold energy going on. So
Loved it.
we are going to get another new person. This guy seems kind of wild. I can almost guarantee he's going to piss me off. So he's probably going to piss you guys off because I'm going to be talking about how pissed off I am about him. He's already outside, pumping his iron, talking about the high standards he has for himself and his woman. Well, meanwhile, it looks like in the background, he's in some kind of motel complex or like small apartment complex. I don't even want to hear
Mhm.
about your weird ass high standards, but okay. Then he goes on to meet Louisa in Brazil. And he tells her no women with short hair, only women with long hair. The longer the hair, the more the effort. And let me tell you, I have heard one other man in my life say something similar to that. And he was the most disgusting, narcissistic pig that anyone could ever come across. So I am fearful this is another one of those.
Well, and
Sarah.
that guy, that dude that was like pumping iron or whatever, like
Uh-huh.
he uses AI for his freaking photos, but he
Yep,
wants like the perfect woman, and he just reminds me of that Chad guy on the lawnmower. Like it's the same damn intro.
definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a Chad. Probably worse than a Chad, though, because at least Chad had some, he wasn't so egotistical
Until the end.
until the end. Yeah, that came out of nowhere, Chad. But anyways, yeah, so
Absolutely no.
um, we're also going to see Sarah leave the office and go on her first date, and this man is at the very least going to drive her through the red light district, if not take her somewhere in the red light district. And she seems a little bit freaked out, so we'll see what goes on there.
I'm thinking it's
And
just
then
a drive through, which like sometimes you can't help when things are just like on your way
yeah,
somewhere else, like we
well, and they're
drive
doing
by
a
and
sightseeing tour of Singapore, so I'm pretty sure if you want to get the full effect, you
drive
might just
around.
drive through. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna get
I
out,
think
but
again that the previews are sort of tricking us to make it, set up like it's gonna be worse than it is. I remember they were doing that a lot last season with Harold and, what's her
his
name?
date.
Dates. Yeah, and those swimmingly. So finally, we will see Amber's official second date with Kevin, and she's going to ask him where he sees himself at 45 because she's trying to figure out what he wants to do with the future. I wish she would just ask him that directly, but instead she asked him this vague, weird question, and it sounds like he's never thought about it before because I don't think anyone thinks about any specific age of what they want to do at that time,
Mhm.
but whatever. Hopefully, he's got something because if not, I don't think he's going to be seeing much more of Amber.
He ain't gonna make it.
I ain't gonna make it.
Ain't gonna make it. But
Ain't
yep.
gonna make it.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thank y'all for joining us. And remember to like, subscribe, share, click the share link, whatever. Copy it.
Copy the link, share it with your family and friends, or share it with nobody, but still copy it.
I will say actually about Monica real quick that I'm pretty proud of her because when you get her away from her animals, she seems so damn normal.
She is. I really enjoy
I
Monica.
love her.
Like, I really enjoy Monica and I really enjoy Amber. And I think a lot of it has to do with them embracing the culture that they're trying to
Mhm.
sort of fit into and who they're dating. But I think they're both just really well-rounded women who actually have something to offer and have the
Mhm.
best opportunity to really be in a relationship that's
Right.
normal.
I'm for it. But
Me too. I'm here to see those two women fall in love specifically, and possibly nobody else, including Harold, because I mean, if there's a season 3, I want him to be on it. I'm sorry.
I love him. Anyway, so we will see you next episode
Until next
along with Harold.
time.
Yes. Bye, Chick Chat. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and please subscribe, especially if you've been unsubscribed for some
Yeah,
reason. Like, who knows
come
what's going on
back.
there? Come back. Come back. Reminds me
Join
of Titanic. Come back.
us.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.